That's a big megaphone.
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
I'm scared. Is it a Hindenburg?
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies.
Airplanes!
And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
SHVIK. Shvikum. Oh, it's the megaphone.
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
That sounds like murder.
Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
Again, murder. Also, how did you test this?
But a few moments from now,
We're gonna witness a death.
these gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
I have very low hopes. He's gonna die. What did I just say about murder? Runo, are you listening? Sorry, what was that? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again? Was it the previous trial from months ago? Oh, that. Today's paper is full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Ah yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Early? He's down too! Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down! Did the music just go like a vroom? I've been here the whole time! Don't punch me! When did you arrive, Mr. Naruto? I've been here for about half an hour. We had breakfast together. Wait, was this immediately after the trial? What? Why didn't you mention it before? Thought you might have known I was here. You know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. Please don't get too close to the camera. Nani? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with those unruly spikes. Clearly has been deduced, therefore, that... Let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Ha. Thanks. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm gonna be banned. A lifetime ban? Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Ellie? We're all glum today. Did you say something, Iris? Back to moping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. Oh no! The Great Exhibition has opened! You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go to see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Are you busy? Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case you can't be distracted from? What if the case is linked to the Great Exhibition? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Early. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Is this whole thing taking place before or after? Like, let's sit down and talk about the case. Half a year ago now. I took on the case of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. Oh yeah! Okay, so this is soon after Recollection. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time, unforgivable mistake. Hey everyone, let's listen to some government secrets in Morse code. Words family, the situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Narrator! Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing. Hey, Virgil! Hope you're doing well tonight. How you doing? Also, yes, bring out the music box. It's time for Government Secrets o'clock. Yeah, haven't you, Bruno? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Sholmes' old cases. Brewing Iris' special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruto. What am I, an intern? Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. I'm glad to hear you're doing alright, Virgil. Specifically Lord Strongheart at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching! We don't have TVs yet, do we? Oh, that's new animation. Oh, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Oh yeah, I've never been on a hot air balloon before. I wouldn't mind riding one though. Funnily enough, when I was a kid, I had a neighbor whose parents, they were divorced. But my parents, I think at the time, divorce was a little too complicated to explain to a child, so they just said that, my neighbor's parents, the mom, went in a hot air balloon and it disappeared. Look down on... Do you mean those things? Fly? Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky. I don't even need wings to do it. All I need is hot air. How? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? Science. I can't understand it at all. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion, and someone died. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are. You want to witness people die? Death rate in hot air balloons like 1 in 1,000. Dang, I didn't know about the death rate. It says the innocent 10-year-old. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. Speaking of, do I have anything? Okay. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Sorry, my throat. Speaking of throat, water break. Shadows cast behind? Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back of the paper? Oh yeah, I guess as long as you're flying with an expert, it's pretty rare. What? Lost cat! So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zieks. That must be what Mr. Sholmes is talking about. Does he know any more? Also, what's this about a cat? I can't read it. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go see it properly before too long. Is there anything else I can look at? 10 pages, 1 penny. Ruffians aim to intimidate a man of justice. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see. King Christian the Seventh reverses ruling awards prize to Michelle? I don't know if I'm reading that right. Before that, are you investigating a particularly tricky case? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? It's not like you. What sort of... Okay! We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. The fireplace? Or the child? You're acting very strangely, Early. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually. The more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Early's mood. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please! You mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Don't deduce me without consent! Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that after what you did in Sasaki Natsume? Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zieks was attacked. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yeah. Prosecutor Barok Van Zieks. The man with the leg. And the wine. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor of a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruto? Yeah, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. Wait, so is it one of, what's-his-face, Magnus McGilda's buddies was like, wait, my friend's dead because of Barok Van Zieks, get him! Like that? Lord Van Zieks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? Does he have his own security guards? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. Oh. He just suplexes everyone. Or he just kicks them with his legs. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh. Maybe Barok Van Zieks isn't the Ripper, but maybe the person who attacked him is. Is he alright? Is Lord Van Zieks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zieks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow morning's edition. That's... what? Okay, one, this feels like a very scummy way to get more people to buy your paper. Two, so he's in critical condition right now? I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait till tomorrow! In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. Who? Lord Strongheart? Hey! Well, I must be leaving now. Understood. See you later. Ah, you really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. Eh? Oh no! You can wish the character a happy belated birthday? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. Thought hadn't crossed my mind. Though now I'm curious where you're going. Ha ha ha! Well then, see you later! Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. Ha 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 ha! What? Steampunk Mickey Mouse? Alright then, Runo, let's get going. What are you wearing? I got changed to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me. What? How does this happen? Is this supposed to be like your fancy going out gear? I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well that sounds fun. Don't shoot me, I'll take you. Okay, fine. Just lower that weapon, please. Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see Great Exhibition. New location. 6 months has... Still, why the Mickey Mouse hat? Birds! Oh, sounds like it's raining outside. In case it starts thundering and stormy and the stream suddenly cuts out, it'll be because of a blackout. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But something's never changed. Like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. What are you allowed to just grab a book? It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris after all. She's happily reading over there. Her sister was a witch! It was her sister! A princess! The Wicked Witch of the East, bro! Also an ad, really? Oh, I love this place! I always find so many interesting books here. I can't read today. I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. Oh right, I forgot. When Susato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. Oh, I understand you wish to speak with me. There he is! The final boss! Pretty sure. Lord Strongheart, I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and... 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. No, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around, staring into space. Good to know. Good to know why. That doesn't appear to bother me at all. Male Strongheart. Male. Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries. That's a lot of places around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Will Susato be there? I really hope I can read lawyer again. Birds! Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. It's nice to know where I stand. Don't smack me! You wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Well, thank you for agreeing to this meeting. Unless it's like a bird you can keep as a pet, like a parrot, then it should be fine. Though I think because this giant building looks like a clock tower, and there might be openings for the birds to come in and out. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again. That's what brought me here today. But there's something else playing on my mind as it happens. Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it. Hey, Ebba. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the whole live 2D thing. It's a lot more like it's especially because I'm on the free version, so trying to make something as super complex as, say, like Iron Mouse or whatnot is kind of difficult. So for the meantime, I was sort of playing around with a PNG tubing thing, and so far this one's worked pretty well. I don't know, I might redraw it, like, so instead of the character facing like fully forward, since the game screen is off to the left, maybe make my character look a little left as well, I think. Anyway, I want my job back! I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened. Why are you looking at your clock? But the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend someone under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, let me work! He's looking into your soul. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes! Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Thanks! The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour. Not me. It should have been Cosma, but then the thing on the ship happened! He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Oh yeah, Ebba, quick thing, it started raining pretty heavily where I am. I don't know if it's a thunderstorm or not, but if the stream suddenly cuts out, it's likely because of that, not because of, like, I just decided, you know what, I'm done, bye. Like, I'm not sure if the microphone can catch it, but at some points I can hear the rain, like, pouring. Cause of that. Mr. Asoku is my best friend. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true call? I mean, he has a point. Cosmo was being very secretive. Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. Can you at least just tell me? I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. I get my job back? Yes! Birds! As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Oh, there's the rumbling. Thank you! Arigato! That's wonderful news, Runo! In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. That's pretty early. I would assume the internet screwed it. Thank you, and I'm also very for your understanding. Hey, big British dude, my friend died. Can I lawyer again? You'll consider it, I hope. Yeah, please tell me more. Don't make me defend another Magnus McGilded clone. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Wait, the big kaboom? Basically, at the beginning of this case, when I started, this dude, he was like, I'm gonna make the first teleportation device! Watch! I'm gonna put a guy in this cage, and soon all of his body will be disassembled and then reassembled on top of this tower! Watch! It's working! It's working! Kaboom! Oh, no. Yeah, I read about it. Professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me say, how is it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think. Instantaneous kinesis? Is it moving things with a click for the fingers? He looks trustful. Give him time! That's right, it's just what my herbal blend needs. A dash of devil may care. Someone call Dante. Whatever this serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odiasman? Odious man? Okay. Hold on 1 second. I think odious is a word, but I can't remember what the definition is, so let me look it up real quick. Extremely unpleasant and repulsive. We're naming a victim Repulsive Man? Large explosion. A man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. He was detained immediately after the incident, and is due to appear in court tomorrow. We have our new experiment! Introducing Mr. Odious Man, aka Repulsive Man, and Harebrained! Let's do this! On the charge of murder. Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. Again! You ever look at your firstborn and think, yup, he's gross! Scientific experimentation gone wrong, murder, very little time to investigate. You're giving me a repeat of the Magnus McGilda trial. Something wrong. I feel out of my depth before I've even started. Introducing our defendant, Guilty Man. We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think? Yes, let's go. Ah yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh yeah, it was... Okay, so Lord Van Zieks apparently has a history of being attacked by friends of defendants that fell victim to his curse. And he was recently, like, attacked with guns, supposedly? Does it involve the Forensic Science Symposium? All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. It's a robbery! Kind of reminds me, there was a joke somewhere like, hello, hello, I would like to open a new account. Okay, what's your first... Okay, so give me your name. What's your first name? Robin. What's your last name? DeBank. Your full name is Robin DeBank. You said it, not me! Hand over the money! The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Also saving, cause... I don't know, I'm hearing rumbling. Thunderous rumbling outside. Blam! Tweet, tweet! Exactly! Ah! London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Okay, off topic. The whole animation of him, like, swinging his cane into his hand, it's like... It exudes... like, they did really well on that. It exudes power. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as forensic science, right? BLAM! Tweet, tweet! The future of policing! We had... Oh, jeez. I hope your area is okay. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh boy, that's alarming. BLAM! Sir, release the birds! Exactly, it's extremely alarming. I'm not too big a fan of thunder, unfortunately. Like, just I don't know, the thunder scared me since I was a kid, like just sudden unexpected booms or rumbles. Ah! If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the number of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures. And like it's like 12 solid arguments of 223? God damn! Off the top of your head? Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone. No. We're gonna be here all day. Nani? How fascinating. Iris, you stay here. I'll start investigating. It all began 15 years ago. Oh, jeez. I'm falling asleep. He's actually doing it. Beep, 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 beep. He's talking in Morse code. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest terms, of course. Simple my ass! Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. Tree got stuck. Glad here it didn't crash on anything. Also, kind of a lucky dodge for the phone pole. That is my mission. Right! Yes! Great! Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. Like, did she just, like, sneak away and pull up a book? How is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. She's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. I fell asleep standing up. I didn't know that was possible. Am I supposed to present? By the way, Lord Strongheart, about this. The symbol of a defense lawyer in the Japanese judiciary. I didn't expect you to know that. We never accept foreign students before first researching the legal system of their home countries. But such trinkets are merely for show. The only true measure of your worth is your performance in court. Really? The closest I've ever done to that was falling asleep sitting down, and like when I started leaning forward, I was like, yeah, I had to shake myself awake. Oh, that reminds me, have you seen this? Reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. The story on the back. What story? Reaper attack. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not? I don't think this counts as a victory! Like, yes, trouncing him in court is fine, but him being attacked outside of court or wherever, it's just... Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? Very well. If it interests you. It does! See? It does, strangely. Tell me! Fortunately, Lord Van Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. He just pokes them and he just pokes them and they die. That's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked though? Do we know? He has guns in his legs. It's related to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zieks. But the man was acquitted. I have no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question made a dramatic end yesterday. The explosion? You're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper? The victim's henchmen certainly seem to think so. He was a man by the name of I fucking called it! Of Assman! Like, Asman. I'm pretty sure it's Asman or Odie Esman. Or Esman, but why have I just said Assman? Mr. Odie Assman! Did you say Buttman? That's the man who died in the big explosion. Yep. Known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, can I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zieks as a prosecutor? He told me he wanted to be one. All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom. And fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zieks first. Do you have some sort of vendetta against Van Zieks? Like, you want him to die? Do you go I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still. Something's going on here. I have Van Zieks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital. None. Bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make sense. How do you explain the ways so many have died if not by someone's hand? There's a third reason. I like the way he makes pancakes. Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. Oh my god, he is Damon Gant! Maybe he's Damon Gant's ancestor. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the crown. I said persecute instead of prosecute, but I guess persecute would work too. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Lord Strongheart, I would like a career change. Instead of prosecuting, can I just sell hot dogs? Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? Wait, really? I thought it was 11 okay, I misread it. I thought you said 11 minutes late or something. Yeah, like that little swoopy, like I remember Damon Gant, he had a hair strand that went down the center of his head, so I don't know, just maybe apply some water to Strongheart's head and that little big thing on his head just flops down. That meeting has already started when I arrived back here for the engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those solid arguments. Yeah, where would I find Lord Van Zieks now? I would assume he's at his office. He's not in the- wait, he's not in the hospital? Like, okay, he's unscathed, but still. I'll go ask him in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. He's not a horse, he's a reaper! away with you now. I'm leaving for Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Ooh. I wonder what it looks like. Whoa! So I imagine he goes everywhere with a sword. And look, he has so many wine glasses. I see all the wine bottles and all the wine glasses. I imagine he has a secret safe hidden somewhere where there's billions more. Sorry, I'm just looking around his room. Like the chess set, the large painting, which either is of him at a younger age or maybe one of his relatives. Ooh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office. Yep, appears so. Ooh, sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deadly atmosphere. Now, maybe that's not a good sign. Is that? Oh! Okay, my first thought was from Monty Python. Jesu Domine, Domines Requiem. Ow! I just actually smacked myself. That hooded figure was so still, I hadn't noticed his, her, their presence. I wonder who it is. I recognize those sleeves. What are you doing here? Eek! He's not as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. I'm glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something? Wait, that's not you? I thought it was him! No punishment is taking place here. Then, are they... That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will. You have an apprentice? Wet cat Edgeworth? Or Babby Edgeworth, hooded baby Edgeworth. Also, imagine, like, the dude there, he's just, like, researching how to summon Cthulhu. I didn't know you had an apprentice. I didn't know either. Wait, is that him? Okay. Oh, be sure. Also, I thought the person with the mask was the attacker. Some person was pictured in the newspaper. He's very able in combat. Requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper, aka you, that was reported in the papers? The Reaper. I'd be interested in knowing the Reaper's true identity myself. Wait! You don't... Do you know about the Reaper thing? Assuming that as such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. I want to look around. Ooh, look! It's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground! Oh, the flags. I see, Okay, my flag knowledge is really rusty, but I think that's a German flag and... Russia? Oh god, my memory, I'm sorry. I wonder why it's here. Perhaps he managed to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person? Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Or maybe making miniatures is his hobby. Yeah! Surely it's obvious I'm using it as an investigative aid. You... Svenya! Have no business painting others as overly reserved. Oh god, I really didn't think he'd overhear that. very welcoming for someone with no... Yep. And he's racist. That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? He looks so young. It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zieks' facial features. It could have been painted when he was younger, like the hair is short. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. Ah! That reminds me! I heard... Oh, wait, that's not me. I mean, that's not her, it's me. I hear Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to paint him to look more attractive when they painted him. Before all the trouble. Oh, fine. That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it? Wait until you learn about selfies and filters. That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Who is it then? Your dad? Oh, then who is it? Why? Answer my question! Is it your apprentice? Is he your twin? It really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. Isn't that the... I'm not sure if it's just like exclusive only to Japan, but it's like sitting on your knees on a pillow. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead? I just noticed those large barrels. I imagine they're full of wine? If he was dead, Renault, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? I don't know, rigor mortis is a thing. Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's gonna talk to us. He's not dead! Yeah, bats! He is a vampire. Like, he's not dead yet! Hey! There were bats! Yep, Arepa's familiars, I expect. What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind. Must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then. I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. How did those bats get in? Also, wasn't there, like, a possibility of, if memory serves right, like, rabies? Are they pet bats? Look at all those ancient casks lining the wall. Casks in the Reaper's chamber? Or are they caskets? I'm pretty sure they're casks of wine. You don't think? All those people who escaped conviction in court. Oh, I love the slow movement for her. It's like, what do you say? Oh, it's like that meme from Disney's Zootopia of the sloths where they slowly get the joke. Those are my cousins, you asshole. What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Matt, are you gonna throw those in court like Donkey Kong? Yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up. Bruno and I just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper. I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourselves to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot. Okay, so I won't say who that picture is of. Is that an old-timey phone? Or it's just a fancy quill and ink? Lord Van Zieks' desk. So stylish. And that's a marble chess set beside it. Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? Oh, Van Zieks is Edgeworth's ancestor. They're both chess nerds. You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? You probably like chess problems in that case. I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zieks sometime. To a bout of shogi problems. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home. Anything else? Hey Iris, can you leave the room for a second? I'm gonna get drunk. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. Dang! Like, I know you recently, like, left retirement, but how much spare time do you have? And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless. Thank you for pointing it out. Yes. Because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Hey! Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. You know, you could, or you could just not throw them. So, it's my fault? Silly me, how could I ever thought otherwise? Also, let me know the mic if I'm being too loud. I have the microphone pretty close to me. Anything else? Okay, let's chat. Actually... Also, I just noticed... Hold on. He's got very muscly arms. Like they're bulging out of his shirt. Oh, before that, look at my badge! I know you've seen this around my arm before, but... What is it exactly? It's the mark of a defense lawyer. In Japan, anyway. And what's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor? It's Ace Attorney tradition, just flash your badge to everybody! Well, I don't know, really. I can understand, at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today. Oh. Oh, like your badge? That's a personal matter. Something you may want to keep close at all times, not something to flaunt. Nah, I suppose not. Oh, its attorney manner so impossibly... Huh? Achievement unlocked inspirational roots for presenting the armband to Lord Van Zieks. All that finger pointing. Like, so much finger pointing and desk slamming. That's all the workouts they need. Lord Van Zieks, about the article in this paper. Oh yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me. You look good in the photo. Looks as though I was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. There's someone else fighting alongside you there. Your apprentice? With the mask? I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? No! So, Lord Strongheart said the assault last night was some sort of revenge? True. Carried out by a henchman of OD Assman. Oh, like OD Arsman? OD Arsman's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. OD Bottom Man. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers. A global investor. Wait, is that why you were so anti-Magnus McGilded when the trial started? Like, aside from, like, oh, he's a killer, but also he's rich and eat the rich? But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities. And he used that money to bury himself, to bury himself rich, to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. My last name's not Reaper, but the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was the most unusual cause of death. I know about that! It was super high voltage instant the earth-shattering kaboom. Mr. Mooning Man died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And do you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? No? Maybe someone, like, of a high rank maybe is doing, like, all this stuff behind your back? No? That does seem a little far-fetched. this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least. Strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? What's with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know the guy's name yet, to be honest. It was Professor Hairbrained. Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. Oh my god, they were roommates. Whoa! I understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Van Zieks from Germany too, right? Oh, Hairbrain's from a respectable British family, never mind. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out the research, that's all. So, you were students together. I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. It looks like he wants to kill, he wants to choke me. And with you of all people representing him. Only if I make it out of this office alive. You know Van Zieks, you could defend him if you want. He's actually been charged with murder. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution is me. Called it. You! Wait, you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. Hey buddy, I'm gonna try to get you killed in court. We are friends, it's true. Why would you do this? If the Reaper is a prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed! Hello? Wakey wakey! What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean... I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal like any other. I'm no demigod. They've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. Unless I'm the one defending, and... Like, granted, Magnus was sort of an off... Like... What's the phrase? Like... That doesn't count. But... That's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. No, it's Jenny! In fact, she's ever so hard-working now. She's out of jail? I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same thing. He says you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh! It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. You're like the Kira/Light Yagami of the Bailey. Except everyone knows your identity. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves as a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly, and with honor. It's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Jeez! Lord Van Zieks. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you are too early then, Rune. I'm not his apprentice. See, I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with him. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's or- What? What? Wait! To protect his identity from attacks? Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. Even you don't know? Why would you retake on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There'll be a good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. Whoa! Wait, I think I can see his eye. The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. Side note, you're wearing the mask wrong. It's supposed to go over your nose and mouth. Do you know what year it is? Does he have a nickname at least? Nice to meet you. Oh my god, what if it's... I just had a very weird thought. What if it's actually Herlock Sholmes? That was really weird. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know it existed, and yet... somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. It's Herlock Sholmes, isn't it? Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. As... 47? Well-known financier who perished in an explosion. I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? You aren't? Like, dude's got a mask, he doesn't talk, you don't know his identity, aren't you a little curious? No, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. Are you interested in a date with him? Well, no, not yet, anyway. The way you stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. Japanese man? It couldn't be. Ah yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? Na Batman! Is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. With the stoop and the mustache and the jittas. Oh, Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from the list, Runo. Somewhere in Japan, Soseki Natsume is like, "Achoo! Someone's talking about me!" He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post the other day. I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Wait, sorry, I just had another thought. Either the apprentice is either A, the detective guy from, like, the detective guy from Japan, I can't remember his name, the guy with the glasses and the cough, or B, at the end of the 5th case of the first Ace Attorney's Chronicles game, there was a Morse code list of people's names. One of them was A, like the initial A and last name Shin. Is it that guy? Thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Soseki-san. After, Knock knock! Joke. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I keep running out of words that start with N. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books. A mad scientist? Oh, Hairbrain. Yeah, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with him. Bye! This is where your client is, isn't it? Let's find out the story. The warden said cell 11. That's this one. Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain? Excuse me! He has a name tag? Did they have those way back when? Also, was it that he was born in Britain but then went to Germany or something? I don't know what voice to give this dude. Who are you? I'm Yunosuke Naruhodo. A lawyer! Yee! Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? Would you be here? About the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, yesterday's demonstration! That magnificent demonstration was... The dude's dead. Like, you said it yourself, you're going to disassemble his cells and reassemble them, but then everything went kaboom! It was not a success, by anyone's calculations! But despite that... No one listens! No lawyer believes in the science! When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity! It could be... Okay, Hairbrain, I had a really bad thought, like, be glad that during your experiment a fly didn't fly into the machine and then just screw everything up in another way. Also, is that a bald spot on your head? Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave. Look at my badge. Whoa! Fascinating, yes! In Japan, where I come from, it's the symbol of a defense lawyer. Wearing it's very bracing, I find. That was a quick move. Your words make some sense to me, but they are entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example... Sorry, it's just Professor... What's his face? Professor Fink. Well, for example, I find this white laboratory coat that I wear for my work very bracing too, with the necktie and the lance, the necktie and the name tag and the buttons! Never mind, I can't do a good Professor Frank impression. However, in my case, there's a perfectly logical reason for that feeling. Really? What is it? I purchased the wrong size by mistake. This one's too small for me. The sleeves especially are extremely bracing. I can barely move my wrist. That's what you call logical? Of course, it's entirely logical. That's science, Mr. Naruhodo. How could this have happened? It must feel awful. As well as a man losing his life, the Crystal Tower was greatly damaged as well. Oh no, what happened? It must have been that. Could be? Like, it could be sensory issues, maybe. That. The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal of frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings too much in change. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. They're still in there now. Divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is! For a scientist, he has some very illogical anecdotes. Long and illogical. Now I'm wondering if for animations, like, he reaches into his hair for, like, a notebook. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense. The experiment was a failure. At the same time, it was a great success! A fail-cess? You lost me. I saw with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Cheeks Man was spontaneously disassembled. Till then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed into the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded. Mr. Gluteus Maximus Man, in fact, perished. Yeah, I can't deny that part of the experimentation was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Cake Man was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. He ain't happy. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth there. And for that, I wish to be punished. At once! But... murder? Never in a million years! It was an accident! Simply an accident! I see. I guess maybe it would be like involuntary manslaughter? Would that work? Excuse me. Early and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or a murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, the Professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. It's still there? On what grounds? Ah yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for the Scientific Equipment Act. The SDSE? Or STIDS? That one passed me by. But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine was a murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Please, you have to prove this was an accident or I'll be victim of copyright. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground. Yeah, or rather no, the devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous. Yeah, do I have to say it? Do I have to say the whole phrase? Like, can I just say SHIVK or SHVIK? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. Have a good night, Eva. Thank you for tuning in. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space! Bring me up, Scotty! That's it, in a nutshell, that's my idea! That's my amazing hypothesis! Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Ew, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology! Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next, I could be at the Great Exhibition again! Yeah, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great Parisian theater, say. Good night. Possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet will be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think we feel like it had shrunk. And then you and then you'd use it to teleport to other planets. My word, that's exactly right. What are the implications? What does this mean? Also, I just realized this dude is fairly thin. Could he just squeeze through that little rectangle? Oops. That got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the look of it. Clearly this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah, someone show him Jurassic Park. Point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. Without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. That's always the fly in the ointment. Wait a minute. Wait. First test of that was the first test? You didn't try it with anything else? Also, I just had a thought. I remember this lost cat poster, so what if, like, the lost cat was found and that's why the machine went haywire? Can I at least read it? Oh. Oh, I guess it's new text. Wait. Ruffians intimidate man of justice. Fiery ball gown set dance hall ablaze. I didn't notice all this. An evening of cordial dancing turned into a blazing ball last week when one of the lady attendees' dresses accidentally caught on fire. In her panic at the sudden appearance of flames, the lady dashed madly about the whole of the no fewer than 3. Thankfully, the fires. French court hears glass eye case. The Jude. I'm probably gonna mess this up. The Jeu de Paix of Neuilly was presented today with the most curious case of a lady who refused to pay her dues for the purchase of one glass eye. The whole affair began when Madame Pluyet, the defendant, ordered the eye as a replacement for the natural eye she had lost. Upon its arrival, she found that she could see no more with it than she could before, and became incensed at the thought of paying for a deficient product. The Jeu de Paix, they had attempted to reason with the madame, and never proved to be on something. What's the other article? Wait, there's not. Renosuke, you're in the way. Barok Van under threat, yet heavily armed assail. Knives and pistols. The sight of his companion, Blackguard's reporter, who, to the police of crime, petitioned the city to have such occurring in its Chief Justice's office. Response to this latest incident, his condition tomorrow morning. And the other one, it appears that the winner will not even be a man at all, but rather a young American lady by the name Maria Mitchell of Nantucket, Massachusetts. Really? Though there were multiple competing claims of the new comet's discovery from all nations, including one by British astronomer Mr. William Rutter Dawes, King Christian was swayed by the fervent petition of Harvard President Edward Everett, who urged charge d'affaires of the United States at Copenhagen. The fact of Miss Mitchell's discovery is undenied through. Kingpins of the Criminal Underground. This isn't the first time. Makes you think, if that's how the justice system works in London, and there must be dark forces at work. Practical demonstrations cost a lot of money that young scientists like you don't have. Are you calling me poor? That's exactly it, yes. Apparently he's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Very true. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Booty Man. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Rumpman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with him? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars! I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. Hold on. I'm a little curious now. Hold up. sorry, off topic. I'm seeing the collar, like the little purple collar and bow tie for Herlock Sholmes. It looks similar, so maybe it is him? Maybe the eyes could probably match as well. Also 47... 33. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Really? An archangel even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research. Mr. Bunman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. What's another word for... Butt man. I would never have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. So about your college years. I understand Lord Van Zieks is a friend of yours from your university days. Yep, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, all around nice fella, really. Are we talking about the same guy? I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barok Van Zieks. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about a leading question, Runo. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. Until the trauma happened. After all, he's a little darling in the Van Zieks family, with all of its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had such noble blood. Little darling. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. What sort of event? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that he's prosecuting. So, Professor, let me make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday was an accident. You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work, right? As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it! Yes, it's true that the man perished in the machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this. But still! I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life! Not in a centillion years! Why am I suddenly reminded of the shoddily made submarine incident? I'm a man of science, that's all I know! You have to believe me, please! Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories. But I do believe you. And I'll fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. That's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. White privilege, unfortunately. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me in tomorrow's court. Alright, Runo. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition. What? Well, whoa! I'll take you, just don't shoot me! Yeah, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate. I'm seeing a lot of broken bits and pieces. Ugh. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage, with all these bits on the ground. Oh! What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Oh, I'm going upstairs. Hey! Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah? Go on then, Spectre, give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it. Wait. I know them. Got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But a night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. Yoo-hoo! Gregsy! What are you doing up there? He runs down the... Either he ran down the stairs or he jumps down. Ah! Oh! It's you! Here! You're here! Here you are! You! Here! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship! Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable! I'll go have a word with for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying high as a kite in no time! Tobias Gregson, an inspector of Scotland Yard. Until recently he was suspended from duty. It would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. You can read my mind? Watch it, sunshine. Sorry. What gives in? Yep, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Damn me, that's the situation, isn't it? Is it really that troubling? A measly 5 bob? Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You couldn't stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pockets, Mr. Naraodo. Also, you stole from me? That's my wallet! You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket, or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own in the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, Iodo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? Want a bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do ya? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Otto. Half a year's a long time. People can change. How old are you now? Damn it, I can't. Last I heard, if memory serves right, you were 17? So you're 18 now? On apprentice now. Learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. so you'll have to call me what everyone else does. Ooh! It's Inspector Lestrade now! 997. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The Inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that! For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. Before that, I can look up. Oh, hold on. Damn it! Sorry, I felt a sneeze. It wasn't coming out. That's where the cove ended up after his instant kinesis or whatever they call it. Dead, of course. Yet they're calling the experiment a success. What's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers, our lads, set up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Dunno, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then? Nah, lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. And pickpocketing lawyers, apparently. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Well, it is a science fiction-ish world, I guess. Is there anything else up here? I've been meaning to ask you for a while now, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky? Oh, they're the flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up in one so much. I read about situations like this in a magazine about strange phenomena. Why'd the music stop? Creatures from outer space coming in around flying objects to attack Earth. You're thinking of UFOs. What? I suppose inhabitants of the other planets are bound to be interested in the Great Exhibition. Isn't it, Iris? It's happening! It's not, don't worry. I'll explain all to you later over a nice cup of tea, Bruno. This platform must have been set up for the experiment. It's very high up. About 30 feet above ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said. I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan. Oh yeah, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in London a year, Bruno. It's time we got used to our measurements. Wait. Okay, maybe it's because, like, it's sort of American, like, the text was changed for a more, I guess, American-ish playing demographic, but doesn't the UK use meters as well? Like, as far as I know, America's the only place that uses feet and inches, and everywhere else uses the metric system. This thing is so tall, the spectators on the front would just have seen a wall. They probably thought they'd secured the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed. There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. The Crystal Tower. Certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition. It definitely is, being so tall with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. All that in that one tower? But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. At the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment might be the biggest draw. Thanks to the accident, the whole tower is shut. Suddenly it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glacier. Apparently everyone's taken to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now. Does everything here have a 3-hour queue? Londoners must be very patient people. This is before Fast Pass was invented. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Wait, no, there's more I want to look at! So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up. William and Turner? Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. And I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course. Riley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. That might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. One time he made something that exploded with such force, it took the roof off the building. Jesus Christ! I wish he'd been there to see it, Runo. I don't know if I'd be able to handle I don't think I'd be able to handle witnessing that much destruction. It's hard to get too excited about that, given I now live there. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate! Can I go back downstairs? Hey, Inspector Gregson. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really? He just looks confused to me. Can I go back downstairs? I want to look at something. How do I go back downstairs? Okay, here we go. Oh look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth. It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It's really durable. It's canvas, I think. With some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it had to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn. For some reason the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something. I imagine one of the parts of the machine fell here. Yeah, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too. Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been. I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Runo. What's this? Ah, looks like somebody dropped something. Dropped or hid. Is that a crossbow? Some part of the machine that exploded? Maybe. Could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Nothing? I think I'll hang on to this just in case. In all seriousness, it does look a lot like a crossbow. Looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. To apply Mr. Sholmes' methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really, really didn't want to get wet. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Ryunosuke, you tell me. Or maybe not. to be a crossbow, right? Or... like, you can use this little thingy to draw the thing back. Can I really can't examine this at all? Okay, oh, there we go. There's some sort of lever here. Pull the lever, crunk! Called it! It's a crossbow! What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing, too. This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded. So I was right, it's a sort of bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3. Oh yeah, I remember. He has a glove on, so maybe he used to be in archery? In fact, if I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Cosmo and Q to archery training. Looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than the Japanese longbow. Ugh. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds. Also, maybe my memory's off, but it does seem like her hair got longer. It was 8 months ago when I first encountered Gina, in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. Is she 18? Okay. Mostly a reformed pickpocket who's now a self-appointed detective inspector. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving wasn't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that, Jenny. Well done. So you went from being a pickpocket to a detective. You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade, sound like something out of a book, eh? Like a Sherlock Holmes book? Talk about a sea change. Sea change? And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him. Oh, boy, I've got some bad news for you. Just a small promise, then. Nothing serious. Oh, Ginny, that's so sweet. So anyway, that's how come I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't rate so well, do I? Just a small problem. Nothing serious. And that's when Early approached Gregsy and asked for help. Okay, I feel kind of... Was Gina illiterate this whole time? My memory is bad. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Jenny and made her sort of apprentice. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson. And brave. Well, you know Early. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. A great detective likes digging for dirt. So, the long and short of it is, if you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. I like this pose she's in. Like, the way it's drawn, she looks really cute. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Oh, what, Bruno? What? 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial. A trial in which she was found not guilty. And yet, here she is. Come on, you're still not on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Call blimey, you don't have to worry, Otto. If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reaper's kinda like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. And I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point. What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, ain't he? That's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly, so I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Sorry, out my nose. Core, it was out of this world, it was. A brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine, and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. Sorry? You mean, it's all Jenny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. Boss in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss. Inspector Gregson? Oh, I thought she meant Strongheart. So all I have to say is I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want. Get this! I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. You're so lucky, Jenny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in this place already, right? You'd have no trouble at all. And it's settled. Where do I start? No. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. You're a baby. We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? I was about to say, why are you calling him Bunnybrain, but then I remembered Hairbrain. Like hare, rabbit, bunny. Alright, well, it was a success, in a way. It was. I'm guessing it teleported his body. Dead body. Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call that a success. So like I said, it did sorta work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that whooping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? See? The machine worked. It sent its corpse there. You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold. Oh well, the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I'll tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. You sure? Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off here before, so fair's fair. Yeah, I didn't actually give that to you. Okay. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little weird. Yeah, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh right, that. Boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate it, and we ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team? Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yeah, I've never heard something like that before. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. Probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down there, didn't ya? It's not bleeding fair! think you're giving him as much of an earful back there. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to it, Otto. Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, isn't he? Yeah, we were up there before, but then I realized I didn't check everything out down here. We can try, can't we, Bruno? Grexy will listen to us. I think he'll listen to you, not me. Wait. Oh, I have to examine. Let's go. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently. And mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. Yeah, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point. Yeah, that part's crucial. Is something like that even possible, though? Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know? You're the child prodigy! A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this Don't touch that! Yee, that was practically instantaneous kinesis, the way you flew over here just now, Grexy. Please, your ladyship. I don't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. So sorry, you can have some of my lady's special blend to make up for it. Tea. Oh, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Harebrain in court tomorrow, so we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's a blasted special dispensation for scientific equipment I to blame. It's driving me potty! Alright, that thing. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Surely that's alright. Isn't it, Grexy? We found a loophole. Beep, beep, beep. Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will ya? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno? She really knows how to get what she wants. She rolled a nat 20 in charisma. Or persuasion, anyway. Considering battle damage and everything is. Look at escape unscathed. I thought this was old text, but guess not. Also, I see a Ferris wheel and I guess Russian buildings. Don't tell it, I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself. Fine, I won't. Spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people? He asked, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this blatant scrap metal, maybe we could answer the question. But we can't, can we? Because of the annoying rules, you mean? Exactly! The annoying obstructive flaming rules! Oh. Look at the base of the machine there. Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. I've never seen a screwdriver like that before. Unless it's like the sonic screwdriver. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? Handles in the shape of a capital letter A. Oh, for Albert? Oh yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything! Touch anything, I'll make sure that... Okay, sorry. I only touched a teeny weeny bit. But Grexy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really very, very curious. Beep, beep, beep. Of course, your ladyship. You're so very clever, ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. So we could just take it? Oh, but I'm afraid I can't let you have it. But Bruno found it first. I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it. That was very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson's gonna make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now. Poor Gregsy. Wait, I can't see it. I didn't get a chance to talk with him. What's that gigantic thing over there? Looks like an enormous water wheel. Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people running inside those little cabins, you can see. Why? Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Also very popular for couples. Wait, it's turning? Looks completely still. Yeah, I mean, it is turning, just a little slowly. Yeah, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour. Half an hour, really? It's been a while since I've been on the Ferris wheel, but the ones I've been on, I swear they went a little. The rides weren't half an hour. Like maybe they were less than that. If you were mad enough to go into one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think? You'd be sent flying. I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Bruno. A roller coaster. There are all sorts of strange buildings here in Great Exhibition Grounds. I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time. Oh, in your country, Bruno. I do wish you could go say it. I present a particularly steely samurai with a with a present of one of early stories I'd written especially. And see if I can get early into a jam against some Bartitsu master nin. Bartitsu? I've never heard of Bartitsu before. You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think. Oh, well that's dull. But I do know a prosecutor with a Chon Mage top knot I can introduce you to. Oh boy, ouchie. Chonmage? Really? Do you think I can have my picture taken with him, do you? Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago. It's like, take pictures of him with him like he's a mascot. Aliens! So those are people carrying balloons, dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. But I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful, floating Tamari handballs. I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Bruno, please? If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee that the thing won't plummet to the ground. I'm too scared. Ah well, in that case, I should tell you what Early said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode. I don't think that's gonna help. Call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play in my mind a little. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the crystal tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going. I don't think we're supposed to shoot anything, Runa. It was set up to beam people to the crystal tower, where they'd be reconstructed in their original form. I mean, beaming people would also count as like shooting the particles there. I don't like the look of it. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place. I suppose that's true, yes. But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Is there something else here I need to look at? Can I talk to... There he is! Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam him across to the crystal tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt. especially in public. True. It was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a little surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. Oh, lovely! If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yeah, I suppose that's true in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Copyright? Or patent pending? Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch the crime scene. I'm suddenly reminded of BioShock, where I believe the reason the City of Rapture was built because Andrew Ryan was sick of the whole, like, you make some sort of new technology and you have to share it, and he really hated that. Because I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the Yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. You've been relegated to keeping guard. Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it! Poor Gregsy. He's very het up, isn't he? Remind me again, what's this new legal act? Are you having at me, Sunshine? It's the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes. I think Early mentioned that recently. With a real twinkle in his eye, as I remember. I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, there's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me. Put forward by shammers like yourself. Like me! Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun. It's like a science fair, but much higher level. It might be fun for you, but a member of the Force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say! No, don't hang science, we need science! Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job! You soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sadly? Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding. Exactly. And that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. Why am I reminded of that TV show Shark Tank, where all those people show up with their invention/ideas? It's like, I have this thing, please fund me. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say now, can't ya? Hang science! Hang it! Oh, maybe I can see a point. Apparently Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right. Come back to Britain especially for a good exhibition, as I understand it. Keep having a go at your fish and chips. I'm thirsty. Probably after one of the government's research grants. And actually, we learned something else about the professor. About his time in further education. Turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zieks. What? What's that? That's news to me! But if Van Zieks means if Van Zieks mounts a prosecution, then as the accused professor's fate is sealed. Because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that is. Talking of Van Zieks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, right. Glad to hear it. Still the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up? What do you know that I don't? The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Oh, shitty man. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Barok Van Zieks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yeah, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified, and that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about. Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zieks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we've reached is that Lord Van Zieks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if no one killed them. I know that! But I can't explain it. It's a mystery, that's all. Ain't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Mr. Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind. You know what? He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change him. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Iris? Right. Are you done here? Sorry? Ain't about time you were leaving. Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot I hear now. That lot? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute too. Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend. Ah, that hit the spot. Yup, hits it every time! Do I get to see what the forensics team looks like? At least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. Looks like this is as far as we're gonna get with our investigation. I've been thinking. Ellie might know something, might he? About Mr. Reaper. About what happened to Lord Van Zieks, right? It sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated. Something that completely changed his life. Was it this thing that made the scar on his face? Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he? Madame Tuspells? Yeah, that's what you need. Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tuspell? Madame Tuspell? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Is this supposed to mean something to me? You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. You could go now if you like. No. We don't have time for visiting attractions today. We have a trial tomorrow. Well, that's where Ellie is. How do you know this? Yeah. Thank you for asking for me. How do you know where he is? Early told me. But he told me to keep it a secret from you, Runa. Why? Madame Tuspells. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but stranger things have happened. And when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of it. Museum. Oh, wax. So, what's it? Wax statues? Oh! What is wax statues? What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes! Why are the people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight! I feel like I've seen that scarf somewhere. They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? Please do not touch the statues. What's that thing said? Statues available, please inquire? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked? Wax models! I read about dead bodies and wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn into wax, apparently. It's called a adipose. Adipocere? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Bruno. You're scaring me. Anyway, adipocere doesn't form readily, you know. It's only in very— Ah! What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. What magazine are you reading? There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. I'm pretty sure, I think there's a few horror movies like that. Like, I think one of them was House of Wax, which I haven't seen. None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas. It can't be! Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them! Oh. Why that one dude with the scar? I see two people in here that don't look like wax models. There's no way anyone can make models of people that are this realistic. And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait. What is it? No. I must be seeing things. What? Why is there an arm? The big heavy curtain is in a very prominent position, isn't it? I have a nasty feeling there's going to be something truly terrifying behind it. Oh yes, that's the famous Tuspel special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look? No! Pay more money to be even more terrified? Ooh, let me think about that for a moment. It was only a suggestion. Is this an arm? Looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models had fallen over. You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? Bruno, stop scaring me! Is it a wax arm or a real one? I have... Why do I get the feeling it's a real one? Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels! No! Or objection, that too. These models are so well made. I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about. You're thinking of Night at the Museum. Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time. Closing time. Da, 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 da. No. Wait. I could have sworn... I don't know, I feel like those two are real people. before I go over to him. Wait, I think I know this one. I can't remember the name of the lady, but it was this woman who, like, she slapped one of her lady servants, and when she thought, like, a splotch of the blood fell on her skin, it's like, ooh, I look younger. Wait a minute. I'm gonna start killing as many pretty lady servants I have, and then bathing in their blood to stay forever young. I can't remember the name of the lady, but yeah, it's like, I think she was referenced in the game Bloodstained. Is this some kind of infamous murderer? Yeah, called Jane the Ripper. All her victims were young women. I knew it! You can tell by the way she's holding that knife. Sure sign of a murderer. Well, yeah. Ah! What's the matter, Runo? I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore. Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub. Really? Sorry, I don't think it's significant. Why is it there, though? I still think it has to be there for a reason. Okay, let's look at this. Wait, Jack the Ripper and Jane the Ripper? Is this an example of Western Sujigiri? Sujigiri? I don't know what that is. I don't either. Well, where's my... Okay, Sujigiri. Okay, Wikipedia... Sujigiri, literally crossroads killing, is a Japanese term for a practice when a samurai, after receiving a new katana or developing a new fighting style or weapon, tests its effectiveness by attacking a human opponent, usually a random defenseless passerby, in many cases during nighttime. So it's like in, I guess, anime or any kind of fictional movie where someone's given a new weapon and to test it, they just attack a random person nearby, like this, for like maybe the scientist who who made the weapon. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword. I still don't know. No. Actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Reno? Doing that Sujigiri thing you mentioned? I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least! Are you gonna attack someone? Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. It's a step ladder. What is it? Is something wrong? No, it's just that in Japanese we have a totally different word for a ladder that folds in half like that. We do in English too, you know? It's a step ladder, not just steps. Called it! The ladder step ladder. So be careful in making assumptions about other cultures, Bruno. That's how wars are started. I didn't realize step ladders are an international point of contention. But the writer makes an astute point. I'm assuming this little board points to him, but it's the Great Detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Holmes has his own wax statue in here, really? And then he starts blinking. Well, he is world famous after all. It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? Makes my skin crawl to look at. I know. Oh, look, Bruno, you can kick this early, and he doesn't move a muscle. You can't go around kicking the exhibits. Wait. It's like, oh my god, she's like you can kick this exhibit, nothing will happen. Watch. Kicks him in the nads. See, nothing. And then you just see him like, oh my balls, like, oh my hairlocks. It just moved, and not just a little bit either. See, sweat. Really? He's blinking! Look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this There are? All I noticed was the blinking. You can drop the act. I don't know, just imagining, like, he looks calm, but inside his brain just... Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look! There's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing. My dear fellow, I take exception to your recording in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes? I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruto. Temporary waxwork? Oh, are they making a model of him? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me! But Reno has something he needs to ask you. Ah, question? And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are. Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more of being stationary like that. And my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Oh, Ellie, you do like to talk nonsense, don't ya? He could know something, it's true. About Lord Van Zieks and what happened in the past. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For your luck, I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Actually, I'm in quite a hurry. If my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. All these displays are interesting cases. Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. How? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. But for now, I must return to my work. Standing still doing nothing? Yeah, back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit. Can I kick him? Just show us about this. As you will see, I'm rather busy at the moment. If it's advice you seek, come to my office tomorrow and I shall be happy to help you. Shall we say threepence per item as a consultation fee? 2 hours of gas! Talk to me or I'll fire! I thought I could use that as like answer my questions or I'll shoot you. Bing! What is this place? Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. That sounds grim. It does. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces. Apparently, sculptors would make models directly from the corpses. So, Ryonosuke's fears aren't that irrational. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Tuspels family. Whether there's any truth to it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows, so they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. These exhibits in here are, They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Bing! What do you mean by a temporary waxwork? Tickle him! Make him move! Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibit here, catching these criminals in the act. They're not real they're wax. Catching them. Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Us? Him in the waxworks? Why? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! Are you destitute? I'm not sure that's the right phrase, but like, are you low on money? He really roared at me there. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the ravenous iris to consider. Who's the landlord, or landlady, or land-letting person? Oh, Ellie, I'm so hungry. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Nerdheado. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Nerdheado, ignore me at your peril. Does my remark down there sound like a curse? Speaking of curses, I have something that will really chill you. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zieks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zieks, Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at the university together. Oh, he's serious. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zieks such a different person. I will show that you know, Early. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot. And that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the end of... Greetings? Ooh! Hello! Where did she appear from? Is this one of the Tuspel ladies? What's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? I hope you are appreciating my museum. Have we? Mr. Sholmes, do you... God damn it! My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tuspels. This is my Museum of Waxworks. Oh wait, she's French? I don't know if I can do a good French accent. This is my Museum of Waxworks. You're the Madame Tuspels? Bien sûr. They're only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular. Wait. Tell me, Mr. Sholmes, then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Oh shit! Oh! I was about to say I love that long braid of hers, but then I saw, next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. Eek! She sounds deadly serious. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zieks now? Let's not forget what Ellie said before. How's something being afoot? Right here in this museum, I mean. I know, but... I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Is it the statue that fell over? Wait. Could this perhaps... Sorry, I noticed the color of it. I thought maybe it was part of her outfit. How fascinating. Is this made of wax? Oh, sorry, it's a piece of evidence. Why would you want to show me this? She can only wax lyrical about wax, is that it? Sorry, ma'am. What about this? Did you make all these waxworks? I did. I am the third generation of waxworks artisans, you know. Gosh. It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. I don't know if I apologize for butchering the French accent. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution, as she did. So that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than early. Oh my god, what if... I had a sort of cursed thought. What if she's a sister or a relative of... What's her face? The lady with the swan hat. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Yeah. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. Is it macabre or macabre? There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here. Come to think of it. Sorry. Perhaps I should have aced you into things. What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago. Let's see. With a business proposal. What sort of proposal? My dear madame, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. What words does that effect? Aha. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services? For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of... Do you want to die? Because that's how you die! Or words to that effect. Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So he came to the current arrangement and said, surely he doesn't need to do what he's doing now, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. Drown me in wax! I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning. Or words to that effect. It's a pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem. The violin? Or maybe something else. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Can I ask you something? Bien sûr. I apologize for mispronouncing it. I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Oh, the music. Whoever suggested such a thing to you. Where'd he go? Your temporary wax where'd he go? A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. There he is. There you are. Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down? You just haul that everywhere? My dear Madame Tuspel, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas that your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. I think I'm getting the accents mixed up. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. So please be aware that I insist upon payment in advance. Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Deduction time? Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is a Tuspel special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer there, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Absolument non. Am I pronouncing it right? Absolument non. There's nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madame? What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Is that the body? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtain, but only a soupçon? Soupçon? It's a dead body. Number 139. I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Tuspel special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer, one would expect, is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however? Ah! Oh! It's the one. It was the juror. It was jury guy number 1 from the second case. It's a portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. Perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself? I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. Huh? He's dead. As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my 2 conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Can we at least poke the guy with a stick to see if he's alive? Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. She looks as pale as a candle. I don't understand. So, Madame Tuspels, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Here we go. Also, depending on what happens after this, hopefully I can call it a night, because it's getting late. To begin with, we must... Okay. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in the museum. Throat. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so... Oh, that's what those are. Estimation, some 200 pounds. Is that just all my own money? So what does this large sum of money reveal? What is she looking at? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast it would seem, Madame Tuspels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes for now fall. Significance of 200 pounds is revealed by the public notice? Sorry, like, still, that scarf, I remember seeing it in the third case of the first Ace Attorney Chronicles game, so... Something going on? Is it like all the cases from the past game come together here? Waxwork for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short. You sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds! None! Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is this portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? Can we at least check if he's alive? It would appear that the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. What is she looking at now? Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to handing the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands! And the result, the scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Water break. The killer in the special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that... Ugh. The question that arises then is, what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly... What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. Still, I think he and the other guy in the scarf, I think they're actual people, because they're not drawn the same way as the wax figures. Such as is worn by a policeman as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Really? Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. John Clay? Oh, is it because, like statues? What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. What? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat beside him with a particularly unsightly visage. Is that price tag on his scarf or his ear? I've been watching closely as he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork. But you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this owner has a waxwork is the price tag. Threepence? A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps a going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of a Scotland Yard. Is that so? Isn't that so, madame? I do not... Wasn't there another way to check? I don't know much about wax statues, but I remember in an episode of Gravity Falls, they mentioned like how some of the statues had a hole in the bottom of their feet. The waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon! Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' Great Deduction of this horrifying puzzle. I hope Esmeralda goes up to him and goes like, "Are you daft?" Or the French version of what the fuck?
Ellie, you idiot!
Shelms, you idiot. I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Early. You have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her culture looks awfully hot. How much does that thing weigh? If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious Naruto 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that mean he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman, Ottermole. Ottermole? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the aether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole. So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man's supposed to be? Indeed. It's a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious, like the guy, like the victim. Continent's only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax bottle? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective. So it is a lot, then. Is there anything else you would wish to add? I keep expecting her cauldron to, fog up the screen before it melts you down. That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me. Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face. I might have to call in your assistance here, Iris, if that's okay. To make some minor corrections to the Great Detective's Great Deductions. Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight. Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tussbells vents her anger. Okay, I'm going to try to not read a lot of stuff that he's already said. Madame Tussbells, in accordance with our agreements, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. A second time. Oh, let me save real quick. Bam! She definitely looked in this direction. But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds. She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. For that much money, I would. Yeah, depending on it, like if you have to, sometimes you have to make art in order to make money. So you have to, even if it hurts, sometimes you have to sell it. Or depending on what kind of work it is. Sounds like that makes me a bad person. Anyway. Oh god, my throat. I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance. Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that can explain it. Okay, it's definitely not that. Ooh! A note pinned on the wall. Let's see here. Dear Madame Tuspels, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd of October. That's tomorrow. What? This is... It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone's kidnapped. Yes, it's a ransom note. Exactly. Has to be this, right?
Take that!
The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness, abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now let's explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Nope. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this guy is? We could just ask him when he comes around. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of deduction process. Yes, you're right. Ellie's trying so hard, we must let him down. Well, there's little doubt he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tuspels trying to hide? Also, where was she What the? What is this? That's a left hand. It's just Madame Tuspel's right hand, isn't it? Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all. But wait a minute. This is a left hand as well, look. Unless she's that JoJo character who had two right hands, but in this case it's two left hands. Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please. And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really odd. Did you just walk behind her and started poking it? It's made of wax? Madame Tuspels has very long hair, doesn't she? She's like Rapunzel. Yeah, but you couldn't tell looking at her from the front. You know, it looks rather like a whip, don't you think? She whips her hair back and forth. That sort of whip could have floored the gentleman with a single crack. That seems a little far-fetched, even for you, Bruno. Or she could be Shantae. Or a blonde version of Shantae. It has to be the hand, right?
Take that!
Yes! What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you? You hit him? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left one. And somewhat masculine as well. You don't Hey, girls can have huge hands. Guys can have small hands, you never know. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model. Whoa! Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. Did he break in and you thwacked him in self-defense? They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes, these gentlemen saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I am afraid I have to teach the man a lesson. He confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result, the scene we see before us, he was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped! I get the feeling that arm belongs to one of the exhibits here. Like maybe one of those two statues that he was looking at earlier. Yeah, I think it's his arm that was ripped off. Oh. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway. A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes? It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard. That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away. Oops! Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course. Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspel's reaction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. It has to be the there it is. What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder. Ah, well that settles that then. Right, this isn't a real person at all. His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down. His arm's been... That ties in with what we just found out.
Take that!
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No boneless human walks among the earth. Hello, Faux Noodles. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. I'm not usually up streaming this late, but this segment's going on a long time. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person. He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards. I simply had to make a model of the man. Naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, right? Next, we turn our... Oh, wait. He already said this part. Nope. A killer policeman called Ottermole. Was he well known? It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price though. Threepence isn't much money. Only enough for a few measly hours of gas and Mr. Gardeb's delightful lodgings. So this is a special killer taken from this special exhibit. Is it? I don't know, I still feel like that price tag is for the scarf. The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty old killer policeman? Really? Perhaps we should have a good look around and see if another idea crops up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy. He seems to be fast asleep though. He's not tapping his foot consciously then. Morse code or shaky leg? Must be a twitch. Never mind that. The point is, waxworks don't tap their feet. Or twitch. Look at his arm too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? Oh yeah. Wait. I don't believe it. It's the secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activity is underway. It's a slightly strange choice of outfit if he was trying to go unnoticed. He must be a detective disguised as a policeman. Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman. He doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though. Perhaps you try to be a little more polite about him, Iris. The telltale sign whether or not this old man's a waxwork. It has to be the foot, right? Hold on.
Take that!
Yes! Telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. Until animatronics are invented. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tuspels. Well, what? Okay, I think the lighting is making Greenosuke's uniform look yellow at the bottom. It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He's clearly fatigued. He's sound asleep. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? Should we shake him awake? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Nerdahoodoo? Yeah, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is underway. Of course, because as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective. Technically I did that, but okay. So it seems we've finally arrived at the truth. Blam! The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. Ma'am? The Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Can we thwack them both awake? Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' Great Deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Sorry, nice to hear you. Nice to hear you're doing well. Okay, we're done. Can we go home? It's past 1 in the morning! All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. I thwack them with my exhibits. Anyway. Whee! Your Great Deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. Can we check if the guy in the back is alive? It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. Shouldn't he be arrested, though? What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display. If it was indeed genuinely abducted. Yes, tragically it was. And I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. Also, what does this have to do with the explosion case I'm working on? In as much detail as possible, if you please. Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. Statue time! The talents of a great detective should be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Okay, here we go. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please. It was some days ago now, when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that the waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed. As I found the ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it. So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose. The music stopped. Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. It's a killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. It's a professor. Not a name I've heard of. Wait, Professor, you don't mean... Where is he? You don't mean this dude, do you? Like, he was just accused of murder recently. And I don't think he can make waxwork statues in just 5 seconds. So, Mr. Nerudo, it seems the circle is complete. Huh? The prefect... What? I don't know what this is. Can someone fill me in what the professor case is? The professor case happened around the time I was born, didn't it? Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time. That Was he attacked by the killer? Is that how he got his scar? Like, if memory serves right, Barok has its... Yeah, that X-shaped scar on his face. Is that where he got it? Surely he's not saying. So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life. As you've surmised, it was the professor case. Who was this professor then? Please explain. It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. Jack the Ripper, but a professor? After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death. And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy! Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. I don't get it, though. How's all this related to Lord Van Zieks? And the explosion case, for that matter. You must first understand, my dear fellow. Why is it that the professor earned such infamy? It was due to the victims he chose. Some of Whitehall's finest. What do you mean, are they? Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Oh right, Baron Van Zieks. Like, it was mentioned earlier that he's part of the, his family is like aristocrats. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Wait, that's it! What Professor Harebrained said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood. Oh gosh. It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zieks. His dad? Brother? Cousin? No. I don't believe it. Van Zieks? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's... Okay, so brother murder. Young Barok pursued a career as a prosecutor. And eventually, became the Reaper we know today. had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Wait, so that... Okay, so I went to Van Zieks' office earlier and he had this giant painting. Was that of his brother? Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter. For the time being, at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit. I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Right, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Can we at least poke the guy in the back? Like, behind you. Get him up. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Huh? Oh! It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barok. It's been 10 years. And here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Bum man. I just can't. I still can't believe it. It could happen. Oh, for noodles, basically, guy on the left is a prosecutor that I have to take on in a trial. We'll fight against him. And the guy on the right, he's been accused of murder, and I have to defend him. Tomorrow the court will decide. Yeah. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barok, are you really... What? Never mind. I know you have my best interests at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Barok. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. How the heck is this all connected?